Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's showtime. Ta-da! Here you go. Nothing? Yeah, can't blame you. All right, here she is. My warlock. Linda Locklich. I can't quit the crazy ones, man. I can fix her. Excuse me. Played a bit more. So she's a little bit higher level. And we're heading to Majelka. Ah, that's where I left it. Yes, I had just finished off Admiral Harton Here's a Who. I still have my meat shields, but not for too much longer, I expect. Bah. Primalist here. Filthy primalist. Come on, man. So far, still no deaths. I'm sure I can change that. One of the items I was working on was leveling up the Weaver's Will on this ring. Tier 7 spell damage, Tier 6 necrotic damage. All of my damage is spell damage, and about half of it's necrotic. So I'm keeping that one. That one I can't see myself probably ever dropping. Maybe if I get red rings. Haha, that won't be happening. Red rings are the sort of classic end game rings you want. Pretty much everyone wants. Oh, well, I can't just wander in without coming over here and getting that. Oh, joy. Another scam or fraud call. I'm going to mute for just a second. Yep. They chose to not say a word. Imagine my surprise. There's none. I have no surprise. Oh, all kinds of things dropped. Gotta go back and not grab those. I get scam and fraud calls at home even more than I get bots in my stream. And we've got another level. Putting our points into Warlock. another point here in good old Chaos Bolts, I think. Yep. Where were we? More spirits, please. I cast spirits. Yes, I do. I cast spirits. How about you? Oh, dear me. That's not going the right way. Doesn't that look like that ought to go somewhere? And yet it doesn't. They've been killing my minions again, but then I don't have any points in it, so yeah, they're going to die a lot. And that's one of the reasons why I'm probably going to change them over to something else. Alright, here's a guy who wants to talk to me. Hi, how you doing? Rauj Zabat. The Wraith Dunes. Lisan al-Gaib! Toxic homunculus bile of sparks. Well, I can't say no to a little bit of toxic homunculus bile. Just maybe it's just me. Just it's so delicious with a little vinegar and oil. Mmm. All kinds of wraiths all of a sudden. Pardon me, excuse me, pardon me. Yeah, my skellies are dying quite frequently now, so next time I get a good skill to replace them. The skill I have that's interesting to me right now is a channeling skill. That doesn't seem to go particularly well with the rest of the build right now. Of course, I can always try it out. Combo platter it with the Chthonic Rift. Fissure, sorry, it's a fissure, not a rift. Alright, we've got another level, 34. Come on, big Scorpo. Argallo's the Blast. Called him. That can probably go too. Most of the time I'm killing things before the cull can really go off. At least for now. I kind of have two spots. I'll need to take a better look at that. Ghost Flame. Here's the channel skill. Yeah, keep following. And then I'll just murder you all. Those ones that duck under, just annoying. The Hydras. Or Hydrae. Trying to hide away. Skeletrons are dying to basically everything that takes a stern look at them. Majelka. I think this is an actual safe spot. It is. Okay, what can we have? Bone Golem will be a bit chunkier. Gotta be getting close to one we can actually start skilling up, too. Oh, that's right, we can skill up, start skilling up now. We yoink that. First of all, we've got a point in the Chaos Bolt. Nope, not the Chaos Bolt. Sorry, the Thonic. Fissure. Alright, if we yoink the Wandering Skulls. Hungering Souls. Potato. We lose the Cull, but frankly, the Cull hasn't been that useful for a while. Whereas I can at least have the give some more tankiness to this Bone Golem. Alright, so we want him to have aggro and survivability. Golem causes not. I don't care about the nearby minions. He is the nearby minion. Deals more damage with melee attacks. Is larger. Generates more threat. Golems have increased size and deal more damage multiplicative if you have no other living golems when you summon them. I like big golems, and I cannot lie. Actually, we'll drop him there. And let's see, we can play around with the Ghost Flame a little. Like that. There he is. He needs a name. I could call him Dave the Murder Bot, but I already have a Dave the Murder Bot in Guild Wars 2.
Now, it's time for the hard part. The way to the Oracle. Hey now, I've seen how you handle yourself. All you need...
Let's see, this way first, I think. initially. That's feeling pretty good. Okay, burning through my mana at a very fast pace. That is not a good thing. So I don't think mana cost is only 2. Really? To get started. Oh, 45 to get started. So the longer you hold it, it gets to be more efficient, but not less costly. Although I know you can make the build so that it basically just allows you to channel and move the whole time. That was not a good choice to use that against. Note to self. Don't do that.
In the slums.
Let's real quickly go back to town.
They were the same.
Empty out our inventory.
To slither through the shadows.
You may find a treasure, my friend.
Let's see. That's got int and nothing else on it that matters to me. This has a prefix I can add into it, so we're going to craft on that. My hat is still really, really good. We want to deconstruct that one then. No. Nope. Definitely nothing's taken away from that ring. That ring's never going away. Well, I don't want to say never. Never say never, you know. Like a good movie title. No. I have no idea how good the Mad Alchemist ladle actually is, although increased cast speed per int and mana gained on potion use. Well, the mana gained on potion use I haven't been using. Elemental damage. That's mana, crit, and 2 good resists. I think that's better. Keep that one. This one we're breaking up. We've got 9 affixes on it. We got 2 back. That was a ripoff. Fizz resist and health are good. Strike multi is okay. You can put int on that. That added a free one onto health as well. Very nice. We've already got more int. Everything on it is bonus after this. How about a health? Int. And it has no more potential, but we got 51 health, 11 fizz resist, and more int out of it. All in all, a significant win. Yay, team. Go team go. Alright, I'm not nuts about the Ghost Flame. Too expensive to get started casting it at this point. What else do we have? Spirit Plague Curse. Necrotic damage. That's not bad. Bone Curse. Nah, the Spirit Plague Curse sounds pretty good. Let's give that a look. Spirit Plague. Guy is tough, but enough stacks of stuff on him and he's gonna die too. He just doesn't want to. I had forgotten things respawn when you leave and come back. With my favorite mechanics. I prefer the way PoE, at least PoE, yeah, I think both PoEs do it. Which is, it recycles after a couple minutes. Between 8 and 12 or something. Here is a place that I frequently die. So I am now always far more cautious over here than perhaps I need to be. Golem, friend, over here please, thank you. That big fella. And his little friends. And also the fact that if you start talking with that guy because of the incredibly clumsy interface they have for conversations with NPCs, you can get sort of stuck in it. Let me repeat. EHG, please. Get rid of that. It's junk. Don't make us click in a place. No, yes, no, no. This way. I hope everyone's week has gone well so far. You've got one more day, and then it's the weekend. Now, I understand, of course, that doesn't mean everybody gets the weekend off. I used to have to work Sundays through Thursdays for many years. My golem is about to die. This guy hiding behind the building. He's dead, so now he's back. Alright, bossy dude down here. And he's almost gone. There we go. Got him.
3. No. And she told me it'd take the courage of a
Now the
ruby
point
Picasso.
here.
I didn't expect this.
Golem deals more damage when melee attacks, multiplicative, and increased chance to stun. That seems pretty good. Deals additional melee cold and has a chance to chill. Death Chill Golem. Base damage of Death Chill Golem converted to cold. Well, what other flavors of Golem do we have? Blood Golem. Twinned Golems. No, no, no. Just one. Just one. Thank you. Pyre Golem. I gotta say, Pyre sounds pretty okay. Let's see. Amalgam of Rogues. Melee. Increased melee attack speed and move speed. Melee Fire. And Spell Fire. Yeah, I think that way. We'll go for Pyre. We've got 6 more, actually, for our next skill, if we decide what the hell we want there. Transplant's probably not bad. Transplant's not going anywhere. I think we're going to keep using that. That's our emergency get-out-of-hell free card. Casting Transplant grants you haste and frenzy for a short duration in seconds. Detonations deal damage. Cast speed and cooldown recovery. Thank you. Most important things. Costs less health. By default, it costs 13%. Second character, is it better to go through the campaign again or go through dungeons? I wouldn't go through the dungeons. I would go through the campaign. The dungeons generally are not very well thought of unless you have a specific reason to go into one. If you mean the monoliths, for the second character, what I do is I get through the campaign as far as Heorot, the icy area, because that should allow you to have all of the idols slots open and all of the passive points you get from running the campaign. I'll show you what I mean in just a sec. That is granted bone armor. That seems pretty good. Grab that. So, damn it, it's not showing up right now. If you open up the map of where I'm under my handsome shining face, usually it will tell you as to how many of the points you have and how many idle slots you have open. But that may only pop up after you've gotten to a certain level. Basically, if you go all the way through to that far, which is around level 40-ish, no, a little further than that, 45, you should have all of the idle slots unlocked and all of the passive points gone. There's no real advantage to doing any more of the campaign. After the first time, when you've opened the city, the Circle of Fortune, you definitely want to open the Circle of Fortune on your first, and that requires you to go to Upper Majelka in the Imperial Age, I think. So if you've got opened the Circle of Fortune, is it Y? It is. Open the Circle of Fortune, that becomes available to you on your additional characters. You definitely want to open this because the benefits you get apply right from the very start. In your first little town, your level 2 or 3, there's an NPC you can talk to join the circle and get all of the benefits you've already accrued on your first character. So my character currently has all of these because they were waiting for him. So if you've gotten the Circle of Fortune and you have all of your idle slots unlocked and all of the passive points unlocked, I think it's 15 for the idle slots and I think 25, maybe 30 for the passive points. At that point, I skip to monoliths. Now keep in mind, you're going to be under-leveled a little bit, but if you're cautious, it shouldn't be a problem. But that's what I do. Let's see, this is one more point there, I think. And this will open up these for me. Int and Vit. Nice. Additional to damned chance. Ooh, for damned overload. That sounds tasty. Infernal Lash. Oh, more Ignite? Yes, please. Withering. I take less damage from withered enemies. All right. Yeah, I don't know why the display isn't showing up. And the fact of the matter is, on my first character, what I did was I went to monoliths at 45 or whatever it was, when I'd unlocked all of those parts. And I leveled up to about 62 there, and when I got a key for the dungeon called the Temporal Sanctum, there is a shortcut in Temporal Sanctum if you go out the far side that can get you to Upper Majelka just in a much faster way. But it's not obvious. But that was what I did because, you know, I've done this before so many times. We have a lizard. Green set. And a unique. Which green set was it? Ah, Necrotic. Delicious. Yeah, so the first character you definitely want to get the Circle of Fortune claimed. After that, you just want to make sure you've got idols and passive points. Look at that little tiny golem. Isn't he cute compared to mine? Would you croak, please? No? I kind of wish I had the cull still. Let's see. Do we want melee and spellfire or melee ignite and fire resist? Why not both? And we need 3 in 1 before we can turn him into a pyre golem, which just sounds like enormous fun to me.
This square, I wish I'd seen it. I can only imagine how she feels.
All right. Where's my friend? Did he die? He died. Who killed you, my friend? Because I will avenge you. Eventually. I will eventually avenge you. Ooh, gold! I love gold! That's working pretty well on the batches of little mobs. The, Spirit Plague is spreading amongst them at a most auspicious rate, and they just sort of die. It's contagious. Like any good plague, you know. All the good plagues are contagious. Oh, he's got a big boy. Gravedigger Mourn. Well, he's come over all dead, so we're gonna give him the day off. Wow, he took my little friend with him. Little friend. Of course he's not little, he's enormous. But he is not very tough, it seems. Of course, he's dying because things are paying attention to him, and if they're paying attention to him, they're paying much less attention to me. Which is kind of the objective. And we got him. And a silly little room. We go in, and there's just the dude we need to talk to, and that's about it.
Hidden so close. A word of advice. Don't ask her about the diamond matrons. You'll regret it.
And back to Majelka. Enter the Oracle's abode in Majelka. Alright, you all want to play? You still want to play? I didn't think so. They don't want to play anymore. The only dungeon that gets a lot of play is the Temporal Sanctum, because that's where you can add affixes to your legendary potential legendaries. Or uniques, I should say. Whee! I can skip! Whee! It's like playing Foursquare. I actually played Foursquare when I was a kid. I also played hopscotch when I was a kid. Where are we going to start putting points? Let's see, 5 points in there. We get the Damned Overload duration. When you cast a necrotic skill and enemies within 15 meters have a combined 20 stacks or more of damn. You get a chain. I have no idea how often that would actually go off. Malefic Body is just plain good. Infernal Lash. When you cast a fire skill and enemies within 15 meters have a combined 25 or more stacks of Ignite. They all burst into flames together and sing Kumbaya. I made that last part up. You gain Ignite Overload or Damned Overload. All ignited and damned enemies are inflicted with Witch Fire. Which fire is that? Let's see, and that is the chains from Chains of Ruin. Node lasts longer. That one is increased fire damage. I'm not sure how often that's even going to go off. What's Anguish? Is a curse. Okay, well, we're just going to go with Int and Vit for now. Because smart and tough seem like good things to be.
Can I help you?
So my Vit is at 17, my Int is at 51, because I'm smart. That's my IQ. I have an IQ of 51. Alright, let's see. Int and Vit. Necrotic and Dodge. And the movement speed is important to me. Nope. Nope. Bone Curse. I want to break that one up at least. Minion rings. Sadly, I'm no longer minioning. I mean, I have the big boy, but I don't think he's going to last either. As he's dying an awful lot. Mage relic. Ooh, how did I get one of those? Ugh. Creepy things. Let's see. 7 int. This is 3 int. I don't think we're anywhere close yet to improving on our hat. Let's see. That's crit, strike, multi, ward retention. Increased curse damage seems pretty good. I might be able to... Let's see. Cast speed, armor, and necrotic damage if you've been hit recently. That seems like an improvement over Pebbles. %, chance to apply damned on hit with necrotic spells. That seems pretty good too. Maybe we'll try a warlock. I only played the other one I've tried very briefly, and because I was just following a build guide, I never really understood why I was killing things. I was killing them plenty fast. This time, because I'm making the choices, I feel like I have a little bit more control. I don't like giving up the ward. I feel like I have to. Unless I could seal and try and craft that on. Hold on a sec. I haven't crafted any of the green affixes on. I could try that. Let's see if that works. If I were to try and craft. All right, show me the modifiers. What was the name on that again? Isadora's. Isadora's Grave Chill Reforged. It's got to go on gloves. Adds health and cold, spell cold, and only one set affix may be crafted on an item. It is a suffix, so I would have to seal the poison. I'm going to try that. Let's live dangerously. I'm going to try and seal an affix. I'm going to try and seal the tier 2, which will open up a suffix, and I can craft on the Isadora's there, and that'll give me the 2-set bonus on these gloves. Didn't seal. Didn't seal. And there's no forging potential left.
Can I help you?
I can't tell you how much I despise this interface. This is a shopkeeper. The only thing I ever want to do, I don't want to talk to him about whether it's good to meet him. Is that fruit behind him? No, this is idiotic, wasting my time. Just open the frickin' shop. EHG, please. Do me a solid. I'll hold on to that. That one's already got a sealed affix. Okay, so these...
Stay safe, traveler.
I keep harping on that because it just is so irritating to me. Was I going to try to build onto this? Physical resist. Maybe. I don't want to give up the physical. It's not that much physical resist. It's 11%. Oh, that's a lot of health, though. I don't think... Yeah, I think we just go ahead and lob that one. Here and here. Hold on to that. And that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Also, ooh. Stygian Flame is up. Ward per second while channeling. So if I choose to go with the Ghost Flame, I want this because it also applies Damned and Ignite. Drain life repeatedly casts Stygian Beams instead of its normal draining effect. Stygian Beams, drain life. At what point do I get access to drain life? Because I thought that was a lich skill. Am I wrong? I can drop 5 points into Lich and get that. That is not without its possibilities. This can go back in there. And that one I'm breaking up. Because contrary to what they say, breaking up isn't all that hard to do. That really hurt, not being able to bust off that tier 2 freaking poison, which is like a 60 or 70% chance. And I didn't get the one I wanted off of that. Figures. It figures. Okay, we've got another side quest that requires us to go back to the Shining Cove. So we'll do that. Really depressing. But there are no guarantees with the crafting in the game. Well, I mean, there are some. But you're not always going to get everything you want. Even if I deserve everything I want. And I do, by the way. I've been a good boy. Anybody buying that? So. All right, now this door is open. One more point in charred bones, and we'll be able to turn him into a pyre golem. Yeah, so Snoopy, if you're gonna try a warlock, they've got options. And from my brief experience, I mean, I haven't died yet. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm not following a build guide. I'm just going with the stuff that sounds good. For just the leveling, you can certainly just go with minions. Minions is straightforward enough to just do the leveling with those. So now, the teleport. Gives me bone armor. And costs less health. I'm not sure how the less health things works when don't have much health right now anyway, because I'm using ward and this chest piece, which takes away most of my health. It gives me very fast ward regeneration up to a large portion of the missing health. It's similar to Exsanguinous. I haven't gotten an Exsanguinous this year. This league, I should say. A little surprising. I'll say one thing for the Warlock is that it does have some nice resists. There was, someone did a chart of all of the classes and specs where it compared the amount of resists you can get from the passive tree, you know, from these. And basically, Sentinel get almost total resists to everything. They want a spec for it. And as an example, the rogue class basically gets none. Or very nearly none. Poison, I think, is the only one they get. Now this quest takes you to the Temporal Sanctum, but you need a key to get in. So theoretically, I could get in right now. I think I'd get my ass handed to me because I'm only level 36. But technically, I could go in. And if I came out the other side, that would take me to a much higher level area, and eventually, after numerous deaths, probably to Upper Majelka and the circle. But I don't need to because I've already got the circle opened up, thanks to First Me. Back to the Oracle's abode.
Yes.
All right, more slots.
May I tear a smile upon you?
All right. We now can manage 3 wides and 3 highs. That is a 4 wide. That's a 3 high. Mana efficiency with Ghost Flame and minion cooldown recovery speed. Those aren't my vibe, man. Ward per second during Profane Veil. I don't get Profane Veil for like another 15 levels or something like that. Quiet down there. My God. Stomach just keeps blabbing at me. What do we need? Void, poison, physical, and cold. But we have a bunch of these ones. Let's see. Kills with void skills. Shield throw. I want to do a shield throw, but I just did, a sentinel build. Health gain on kill, plus health, poison resist. It's okay. Not exciting, but it's okay. Necrotic, no. Void. Void wouldn't be bad. Fizz pen, that's of no use to us. Where's the second tab of those? Is that in 3, I think? Yeah, there it is. Those are mage. Come on, mage. Sentinel ones. Fire resist, don't need fire. Poison, necrotic pen. Now we're talking. That's fizz resistance vit, that's not bad. Spell damage and vit, that's not bad. Health gain on kill and poison. You need more void. A little more void and necrotic pen. Sure. Talked me into it. I'm a pretty good smooth talker when I'm talking to myself. I find myself incredibly persuasive. All right, now we speak with the Oracle. I have mentioned this before, but as a longtime resident of Silicon Valley,
Greetings.
there's a company called Oracle. And the guy who owns it and runs it is named Larry Ellison. And it is generally agreed that Oracle is an unintentional acronym for one rich asshole called Larry Ellison. Sorry, Larry, if you're watching. Can't be the first time you've heard that. He tried to buy the Golden State Warriors, and thank goodness he finished second in the bidding.
Your death has come.
Death has come. She sounds so cheery about that. I mean, of course she's a warlock, but come on. That's a little bit, stereotypical. to break that one up. I think I need to start using more Spirit Plague a bit more. Level 37. And now we get Soul Feast. Oh, don't. Soul Feast is good for, but we get it. Soul Feast. Feast on the soul of cursed enemies, dealing necrotic damage and dragging fragments of their souls back to you. The soul fragments each grant 3 ward. Ooh, tasty. Also, Spirit Plague's okay. But let's try the Soul Feast. That is not the way to go. What? We have a nemesis over there. Looking forward to saying hello to him. I think this is a dead end, yeah, it is. Oh. My golem's not long for this world. Fortunately, I can just... What is it? I'm not seeing the ward yet. Yeah, okay. No, that was the one there. Not that little, not much. It's not yet. Oh, a dead end as well. Stupid dead ends. We ARPG players hate them. Did pretty good damage to him. Can't say I'm particularly seeing the ward going up, but I am seeing the damage hit him hard. I want that nemesis. Because I always want the nemesis because they're fun. Chance for them to get really good loot. Hits them pretty hard. Not seeing any particular big bump in the ward. Alright, new nemesis, I think. He's got Frozen Ire. Well, let's give it an Empower. Yeah, that paired about 30% of his health when he had a whole bunch of curses on him. Seems okay. Bone armor duration increased. Leave behind a bone minion. Transplant detonation leaves a pool of blood. That doesn't seem too bad. Haste and Frenzy. Let's go with that. A little blood detonation, you know? Sounds like fun. Charred Bones. Next time we can get Pyre Golem. We can set fire to... I mean, he looks lovely in green. Make no mistake. Green is a very good color for him. It goes with his eyes, which are actually empty pits. Nope, this room's a dead end too. He had to come because of the Nemesis. Getting a fair amount of healing from my spells and damage and whatnot. I may not need the ward that I'm getting. From the chess piece. The ward was just so overpowered at launch that kind of have a predilection for more ward. It must be good. But that isn't necessarily the case, you know? Things change. I know that they did a correction in the power of ward because it was really broken at launch. You know, some builds were building up 40,000 ward, which makes them kind of tough to kill. We've got another Nemesis over here. And also a chest full of goodies up there, which always gives a unique idol, which I've never actually used. There it is. Singularity, more damage if you have only one singularity equipped, and you cannot deal crits. So, really good for a non-crit build.
That is too much.
That is too much. No, it's really not. So, shut your cake hole. Let's see. Chaotic strikes, your hits have a chance to deal double damage. Additionally, your hits have a chance to deal double damage per curse on the target. I don't like that. How about over here? When you directly cast Curse Skill, you also afflict a number of enemies around the target with anguish. Anguish. Sure. More curses. Good. I mean, not good for them, probably. But I'm fine with that. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Where were we going? Over here. More spirits. Gloom and Flames. Cost significantly more mana. A lot more mana. And over here, Chaos Bolts. That is completing. Bolts are always going to ignite and always going to give everyone damned, and they're going to all take more damage because they're going to be damned and ignited. Maybe bleeding and frostbitten if I can manage that. that's right. I wanted to go back to town and sell my stuff because I'm full. Inventory limitations. Bah, humbug.
Can I help you?
No. I want to break that one up. That's a level 52 offhand. That's some nice affixes, but no. Increased necrotic fire, chance to poison. Nope. Sentinel? Sentinel? No. Hold that one for filing away. Interesting. Poison chance on spell hit. Is that one of the... No, it was... Chthonic. Bleeding and frostbitten. Okay, not poison.
Can I help you?
Yes, just go to the shop. Have I mentioned how much I detest that? I may have. It may have slipped out at some point. How much I detest that. Just a little bit, I'm assuming, around the edges. Int and cast speed. No. Those two I'm busting up. Whiffed. Got the summoned skeleton. Good. Armor granted by bone armor and necrotic resistance. Don't think we need the necrotic resistance. Thanks, though.
Stay
And
safe,
these
traveler.
can get put away in their various slots and places. No, no. Yep. No. There it is. There and there. And these two. Here and here. And that one. Word per second. Poison chance on spell hit. The poison chance on spell hit does nothing for me. I am unenthused at that one. That one does not enthuse me. I like to be enthused.
Your death has come.
Your death has come. All right, Nemesis all the way down here. Come on, man. Jeez.
Your death has come.
Even a dead end unless a chest. All right. Empowered again. next time I'll give up the goodies. Poor little feller got beat up by his big brother. Maybe don't stand in a big line where I can throw my chthonic fissure the entire length of it and you all just die screaming. Just a suggestion. They might want to consider in the future. A Titan Leech. Yum. And by yum I mean ooh. Nobody likes leeches. Pools of blood heal you for a percentage of your total health when you walk on them. 3% per point. That doesn't seem like very much, I've got to say. I like the pools of blood. Slowing enemies seems to be good. Haste and Frenzy, sure. I'll take some haste and a little bit of frenzy too. And I believe we're going to get another boss. That's a champion, the Exterminator. He sucked up most of the time on my buff. We'll have to kill the Spy Master the old-fashioned way. Come on, drop your loot. You stupid galoot. He's fiery. The green was a cooler look, but the red's pretty imposing too. All right. Speak with Alric in the Majelka way station.
This is the I can't say quickly. On my and that should do it. This waypoint's harder than I anticipated. But no worries. All good now.
Except for all of the horrors that come running towards us. Fortunately,
Just in time.
I have magic.
Looks like we've got company. Anyway, off you go. I'll see you on the other side.
You'll see me on the other side. Hope that doesn't mean death.
Don't
Julia?
forget your over there. Go. I'll try. Hopefully, I will see you soon.
Why is it always sewers? Oh, I guess this isn't the sewers yet. We're headed there. The Rustland. We're headed back in time again. Not sure there's any real compelling reason for me to do this, but I'm so used to doing it anyway. I don't know if there's any idols. As a result, I don't think so. But I'm here, so we go back in time, man. Besides beating up dinosaurs, who doesn't like that? Level 39. Big old flaming lizards. Between the ward and the life drain, each that I've got going, definitely haven't come close to dying for quite a while. But then generally, I don't think they want the early part of the game to be especially challenging. They want you to sort of have fun with the game as you're learning. When you get to the end game in monoliths, those can get a lot dicier, depending on the build, of course. For instance, right now, Sentinels, really tough. Orcurian. I don't think I've ever used the unique drop he always drops. Orcurian's Petals, Mana Regen. Cast speed with physical. Wouldn't be bad on a physical caster, I guess. And here we go. The sewers.
There should be some. If it weren't for you, I'd still be in the dreadnought. I'd be making friends with Zarek's victims.
Always the sewers. All flavors of RPGs you can count on. Spiders and sewers. Insatiable, huge, immortal idol of impact. Okay. A long time before I'll be able to use that. Because I can't fit it. It doesn't fit into the idol layout for quite a while.
Death will not take me.
Oh, another nemesis. I think this will be the last challenge on this nemesis. Okay. Yep, no more empowers. Let's get it on, so to speak. He's bad. I am not a fan of his. Oh, I have not seen those attacks before from one of them. Gotta concentrate trying to just burn him down. That's an enormous amount of health, and it comes with Soul Feast. +1 to Soul Feast. Increased elemental damage, mana, and mana gained his ward. Yow. Mana gained his ward is really tempting. And it won't cost me nothing to find out how well it works. Increased elemental damage, I'm doing about half of my damage is elemental anyway, so. Let's see how much ward this ends up giving me. A lot. That's a lot of ward getting piled on.
I won't go back. I did nothing wrong.
It's taking a lot of damage there, but it was keeping the ward was keeping up with the damage for the most part. Oops, we've got. I now have an allied ice beetle. Yay. So that nemesis and his friend, the exiled mage, they were both pretty tough. Things are getting a little bit more iffy on the I can just murder everything front. Level 40. Another pointing to encroach in darkness. Anguish. We give them anguish. In the immortal words of the great philosopher Dalton, pain don't hurt. Ooh. And we have another nemesis. What has he got in his pockets? His boulder fists. That's pretty boring. None of the stuff he's got's very interesting. We'll just challenge him one. Take his boring stuff. It's a dead end, I think it is. I think it's a dead end over here, too. Yes, it is. Wish I didn't make that mistake pretty much every time. But I do. Because I'm not nearly as smart as I want to believe that I am. Really, how could I be? It's about time that I sped things up a little by just doing a bit more kiting of mobs and going from place to place rather than murdering everything. More homunculus bile. My favorite flavor of ice cream. Oh, he's gonna die too. There we go.
Here I was, hoping this would lead us closer.
The necropolis of the deep. Let's see. All right, my fiery boy is powered up a little bit more. Another nemesis. Hopefully this one's got better loot. The last one was sorely disappointing. Long shot. Low level, if I make a rogue, sure, we'll empower it. Bone Golem could go up. Spirit Plague could go up. Sure, why not? We're going to empower. Got them all cursed up, and then unleashed on him. I mean, spells Soul Feast, but it was me unleashing Soul Feast. You know, because bad guys don't just cast a spell, they have to unleash. Except if there's a dog involved, in which case, unleashing is probably them being good guys. I wouldn't mind the traversal affix from the experimental. When you use a traversal skill, your minion or minions traverse along with you.
Worthless.
Yeah, I know, it's full again. Shut up. I will now be releasing freezing waves. Level 41. Was I able to pick up the legendary sword? I was. I won't even bother looking at these because obviously they won't be any good. Yulia's Haven. give me more fervor. Where can we go from here? Let's see. When you hit an enemy with transplant, you regain mana but lose a portion of your current health. Ward. Yeah. Automatically cast Rip Blood at enemies nearby when you depart, but transplant costs more health. Yeah. Transplant creates an additional body that detonates on arrival. Well, additional exploding knees. Just sounds like fun. Explosions instantly kill enemies. Ah, we can get a cull back. Excellent, we can get a 15% cull. That's where we're off to for next. I gave up the cull on, was it Hungering Souls or whatever? If I can get it back. Another player. You do see players in the
You've made I am
social
here
spaces.
Because in regard from there, the heart of the citadel is beyond. There is an exit near the Emperor's throne.
Let's get the quest from
Seriously,
Alric.
When he fled, I saw him heading deeper into the mountains. When you
I'm just a
find
skeleton in a suit.
you could take a peek at his nest.
Frankly, my belt, not that great. Oh, it's not bad. That's right, because I did change to the other set pieces. I would like to tear that one apart. We'll salvage that. I want to save that. If I make a mage. Because that 15% chance for lightning blast to chain 4 additional times and spell damage seems pretty good. And it's sealed. Tier 3. Hardly yawn. I'm an old man, you know. That's an enormous amount of health. And percent. It's got tier 6 flat health and tier 1 so I can increase it regular health. And it's got mana and I can throw int on it. That might be worth changing out for that. So that one we want to... I won't be using that. Or that. Int and vit, boots, no movement speed. We do want some additional movement speed on our boots, generally speaking. Gladiator's Oath. Melee. Ew! Ew, melee. Gross. Ugh. Melee is for savages, barbarians. Icky. Got no red blood out of that. No marrow shards out of that. That was rather disappointing. That, any of the purple categories is fine for that. Now this. It has 59 forging potential. That's pretty good, gotta say. So for that, we want it. We want Glyphs of Hope. Ideally, tier 5, tier 5, tier 5. Not impossible. We got 60 forging potential, which is a lot. That's all the forging we can do on it right now. The question is, where does that leave us? We're currently at 874 health, but only at 83 with the ward, because ward regenerates faster than health. But if we swap this, we go to 1094, and our ward mostly vanishes. You'll note the health does not bounce back nearly as fast compared to the ward. So at least for now, how close are we to... Right, Profane Veil. If we want Drain Life, we've got to drop 5 points into Lich. And which 5 points would those be? Int, Mana Regen, good. Health and spell damage leached is health. More good. Increased damage. And tripled at low life. Liches like to live dangerously. But that is mainly a Lich item. But if we were doing Drain Life and Ghost Flint, would be good. Your death has come. Ooh. Loot lizard. He didn't last long. He just was yummy. Increased experience. I'm not going to say no to that. We want more levels. That way. Bossy dude who spawns after we kill everybody else. Alright, return to Alric. After we check and see if there's any good stuff here. Back to Julia's Haven. And Alric.
You killed him?
I killed him.
If we pull this off, maybe
He was
I
a
can
bad
give us some
man.
good news for once,
So,
eh?
well, okay. Bad, undead creature thing. Fire damage, spell damage. Int. One less int. That has mana and crit, and lightning and void. Chill and slow. Set that aside. That thing's poor. It is not good. Go so far as to say it is bad. I hear screaming kids out in the courtyard. Hopefully you can't hear them. I also wish we had a little checkbox we could put like below each item or to the side of each item to lock it in place so we don't accidentally remove it, because I have accidentally. And spend a good deal of time, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes running around on my paladin wondering why everything had gotten harder to kill. And the reason it got harder to kill is I removed my weapon, which was reducing my damage by 2/3. Cannot recommend. Alright, we are now off to the entrance to the Citadel sewers. We head up to the Citadel, we fight the Emperor, and then we go again back in time, and we're off to the Icy Lands, where Herot, the god, is dying. Because Raye, the other god, is kind of a dick. And when we finish up in that area, that's when we can go off and start doing monoliths, which is the basic endgame. But they've added a lot to the endgame with this season. That's it. To me, it feels like an above-average PoE season. Definitely better than any of the non-big patches, because they alternate at big patch and small patch. That is when they're having patches at all for PoE. Which I'll note they haven't had. Months now? I think they're kind of shooting themselves, not even in the foot, but in the head. Their treatment of PoE. They're so intent on PoE 2, they don't realize the damage they're doing to their money-making product. Another point. I'm going to finish off that in Warlock, and now if I can remember. Ooh, that gives us Profane Veil. It's like a big defensive, I think. Well, Nemesis. Do love us a Nemesis. Power number 2. Finish him off by just spamming Soul Feast on him. So he had all those curses. Worked pretty okay. Where were we going here? That was damage to rares and bosses, which obviously we want. Grasp of the Undying, that's Fissure damage. Spirits? Yeah, we were getting more spirits. What were we looking at? Secondary Fissure, but it costs way more. Spirits have a chance to be replaced. Cast Spirit Bolts. They consume a portion of its mana. Chance to replace spirits doesn't scale. 60%. I don't think I want to just start firing things off that are sucking my mana without me giving express permission. Spirits shred enemy necrotic. That seems pretty okay. Where were we going next? Let's see. Call of Morditas. Base fire damage converted to cold. No, I think we want to keep it. Chaos bolts. More damage over time, multiplicative with other modifiers. Equal to a portion of your missing health. Or 20 missing health. I would assume that works for if I've got the ward up. Like right now. Hitting your minions with Chaos Bolts grants them damned, ignite, bleed, or frostbite chance that Chaos Bolts get from this tree. Directly casting Chaos Bolts extends the duration of your active chthonic fixtures and infernal shades. Effect cooldown. So it increases the length of time it stays around. Base Necrotic converted to Fizz. No, I don't think I want to really convert. Chaos Bolts increase cast speed and they travel farther. That seems pretty good. Cast Chaos Bolts up to gain a stack of destructive intensity. Crit chance per stack. Target area per stack. Definitely there. Alright, now we continue. Golem refuses to die. Such a soldier. His health is low, but he doesn't care. Travel to the Citadel sewers, yes, because we just can't get enough sewers around here. There's nothing quite like the fetid smell of poop. Lots of it. Here comes the first of the Watchers that has to die. It's dead. The thing about this layout is once you know the pathing on the Watchers, you just head this direction. They come to you, which is really quite thoughtful of them. Number 2. And number 3. Well, and we have a champion over here. Don't want to leave him out. His name is Skritter. Grand Idols for 3 of the other classes. Not this one, not the one I played first. All 3 of the other classes. Sigh. Heavy sigh.
Will not take me.
Sometimes life just evokes a heavy sigh. Okay, and into the Immortal Summit. What we're going to do is we're going to keep bopping through this. More Infernal Aura. Until we finish off the Emperor, we'll go back in time. And we'll work our way to Yulia's camp. And we'll call it there. Then. 10 or 15 more minutes? Something like that. Those guys have got lots of hit points. Level 43.
Your death has come.
Let's give ourselves the option. Int and regen, health and spell leached. I gotta admit, I got a thing for spell leech. I just think it's kind of sexy. That was a little weird. Additional exploding body. Yeah. More exploding bodies is what this world needs. Hell, it's what every world. Oop. Those guys hit like a truck. Do not want to get in the way of the spinny boys or their friends who launch rocks. Oh, bad. Those guys. Two of them. Oop. Oh, we've got a watcher. There were a number of unfriendly, uncharitable sorts waiting for me there. Nerve. Alright, let's go face off with the Emperor. Jerk that he is.
Amazing. I never would have thought necromancy
I don't know, you're really
would be so
immortal if you're
glorified.
undead, because you're not
Something
alive.
so
You're not
precious.
living forever. You're just not being completely dead.
Expecting you.
Not sure.
Do not look surprised.
You should have seen this. You know. Yes.
I've heard of your power. Let's see how you face this. Interesting.
Hearten. Good old Hearten, here's a who. Did we get Hearten? I think we did. Yeah, we did. Two bosses a little tough for me to keep the mana up.
No more games. You. Why are you here?
Now's our chance. Quick.
And we're back in time. So now we're going to go from Solarum to Yulia's. Back in time, before she was undead, Yulia's even sort of thing. It's complicated.
Finally back in my own era.
I'm back in my own
Looks like
era.
fools will have to die
It's
yet if I make it
delightful.
off this mountain.
You know, except for all that people who need murdering. Actually, that's part of the delightful, I suppose. I'm a warlock, after all. Whoop. Must go back. Nemesis. Must go back. The Nemesis is going to give us the pretty shinies.
Death will not take me.
Yep, we're going to challenge him. I do not like this one's attacks, I have to say. Let's spam. That should finish him. There you go. %251% minion health. It's really a shame I'm not playing minions with that health. Holy crap. That a 6 or a 7? That's a tier 7. That's an awful lot. Wow. If I'm going to keep this guy around, increasing his health by 2.5 times wouldn't be a bad idea. That's a level 44 for yours truly. It's coming back. He thought I didn't know. He thought I didn't notice. One character I had who had his first death right about there. Summoning Voidborn Squirrels. I temporarily have Voidborn Squirrels as pets. There is a helm in the game, designed by Zizarin, which replaces your wolves with a shitload of squirrels as a primalist. Now I have rotating death beam as well. The Burning Forest. And we'll meet Yulia and a couple of gods in the next bit. One of the gods is going to be having a bad day. And our next nemesis has appeared. Let's see what he has on the offering for us. This time on The Price is Right. Soul Bastion. Let's empower it. We already have a soul bastard, but hey, we'd like an empowered one.
Has come.
I am low on mana. Wizard needs mana. Wizard is just gonna boogie straight to the Scorched Grove. Good evening, Kimmo. How you doing? You realize this means I can't leave right now. I was about to finish up, Kimmo. You kids today, how you doing? So this is a god, it's Herot. He's throwing around ice and murdering people, you know, because he's a god. Oh, back pain wise. Believe me, I know that.
Be gone from this land.
Sciatica down the right-hand side along the line of the hip when I get it bad. I don't get it bad as often as I used to because I lost a lot of weight. That helped. Not fun, but it helped. I'm okay. I'm sorry about the back pain. I really am.
Go north. Retrieve the land.
Put your weapons here.
My weapon down? Are you crazy?
One and here. Here. Come. We have much to discuss.
And teleport back. I'll hang around a bit longer since you've decided to join us. I guess you're special. Was I going here? No, it's going over here. More fire. Fire. Yeah, we want fire. All right, we'll talk to
We don't have much time.
Yulia.
It is not then pray. You will speak. They will reveal the path to Herot's temple.
Hurt yourself carrying your cats in a bubble backpack. Instead of putting them on your back, you carried them on your front. That fucked your back since they are huge cats. Also, thanks for hanging out longer. Managed to leave your bed just to watch. Now I'm going to feel guilty if I ever take a break ever again. Now I have to stream for the rest of my life.
Yes.
No, I won't do that. You've been punished enough. Your pain is enough. You don't need that added pain. Well, none of those is very interesting. That one I will salvage. That one I will salvage. That one I'll put away. 24-hour stream win. There was a time. I once did 55 hours awake consecutively at DundraCon about 40 years ago. Maybe more. It was a Dungeons and Dragons convention. Go figure. That's a keeper. Those are keepers. But I was, unsurprisingly, I was freaking exhausted at the end of that. So I would say a 24-hour stream is not something the old man is capable of anymore. I've done 8-hour streams, 9-hour streams a couple of times. On PoE League launch, I used to pretty much do 8 hours a day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You know, back when they had new leagues in PoE. I'm glaring at Jonathan. He doesn't care. You've heard from your husband this timing of being awake for more than a day Could never since you were born? Well, when I was younger. I mean, much, much, much younger. I mean, it wasn't that unusual for me to stay up for a long time. I was working evenings, and I would go to bed at 4 in the morning, and I'd wake up at noon. But if there was something else going on, or I was involved in a game or something, I would stay up until dawn. But that would be from 12 until 12 noon to 8 a.m., something like that. That wasn't that infrequent. But the only time I really stayed up, intentionally long for a reason, that's actually not bad at all, was that Dundrakon. Jeez, that's a lot of bone golems you guys are throwing at me here. All right, that one needs to be deconstructed as well. That's the one with all the minion health. And marrow shards when I transplant. What the hell? That's a keeper too. All of a sudden I'm getting all this decent loot. But I was busy that whole 55 hours I was up at Dundrakon. I was running D&D games almost the whole time. Five, 9, 11. 2, 4, 5, 6.
I see.
Our neon. Oh. And that's what the old man sounds like when he's just trying to stay awake with a full night's sleep. He yawns and grunts and groans and complains. Potion health converted to ward. That's not very good. I think, yeah, I have to say. That's not for this build. That's for some other build, some other day. Same thing there. But these, Bone Golem and Spirit Plague. They both have sealed affixes. One of them, it's the Bone Spirit. I could roll off the Spirit Plague, I guess. It's tier 1. I should be able to seal that. Lightning and poison. Minion health regen is of no use to me, and I can't seal multiples. So I'm going to say that's for another build day. But this one, with the minion health, oh, that's for another build for another day. But this one, fire, I don't need the fire resist. That's tier 5, max craftable on the Bone Golem. I could seal the increased armor, and we have a prefix and a suffix available. Don't think it's as good as this one. And this one's still got a boatload of potential in it. Like that. We still do need more void. So that's got all that's int and mana. We'll drop this one into the box. This class. This character, I should say. And we'll do some more stuff. Because Kimmo's here. This guy, his niece or nephew is sick, and he wants me to get medicine, get components so he can make the medicine. But when we get him the components, he admits they're for boner meds for himself, because he met a widow who's older than him, who and I just don't want to know. So he's going to make himself some little blue pills. What did I get? Prismatic Shrine boosts everything. I don't know if I've heard of that one. I like it when you tell the story because you've ignored the text in the game. Well, in this particular case, that's a wise course of action. Everything is going on right now. And we'll go into the Nomad camp. We're doing RF build, Sentinel. Oh, is it the auto bomber with Devouring Orb and it begins with an A? That's the build I was playing. Bone armor. Ah, Judgment. Okay, yeah, that's the strongest build right now. The Judgment build is. Cast Bone Curse around the target location you arrive. Sure, I want to cast Bone Curse. Yeah, the Judgment build's the strongest build right now. But basically all the Sentinel builds are really strong. But Judgment's broken. Or most broken one, I guess. I have been playing the by the Bazaar. You mean the card game? Although it's hard to describe it as a card game. Initially, it was described as a card game, and I would describe it as a card game. Or do you mean the Circle of Fortune versus the Merchant Guild? I'm doing Circle of Fortune. Yeah, no, I'm doing Circle of Fortune. For instance, in PoE, I always play trade, but I've only actually done one trade in I don't know how many leagues I've been in, 30, something like that. I first played PoE right at the very end of Harbinger League, and then Abyss League was the one right after that, if my memory's serving. Definitely the first one I was there for the start of was Abyss League. And I've played trade, but I've only made one trade in that entire time. I sold, I don't know, one of the gems. I sold it for 12 exalts back when that was a lot. And because I was going to use that 12 exalt to buy all this cool stuff for myself, and I never did. And I've still never bought anything from anyone. So yeah, the Circle of Fortune gives me all the fat loot I want. Because someone came out with a loot filter for expensive uniques and you were going to give it to you if you wanted. Well, you can't just... I don't think you can just give things. But I'm not sure because I've only done Circle of Fortune. And by the way, thank you for thinking of me. But no, I would feel a little weird. Well, I mean, I am a little weird, so that would make sense. That's not what I meant. So, we are coming up to the two bosses that have killed me on a good, solid, I would say 20% of every build I've ever played. They got my first kill. It's just the loot filter. Oh, you were going to give me the filter. Ah, got it. No, yeah. Oh, I have a pretty good idea what the expensive ones are. I misunderstood.
Death will not take me.
The Wengari Matriarch and the Wengari Patriarch. Oh, we've got a loot lizard. Don't you go running away. Give me my stuff. Technically, it wasn't my stuff. It was the loot lizard stuff. But it's my stuff now. Oops. We've got a nemesis. Well, I mean, I don't know all of the good stuff, but for a lot of the good stuff, what matters most is LP. It's legendary potential. We're going to empower this up again. Would you just crow? Thank you. Empower every single mercenary because they're a lot of fun. Yeah, they are. And the loot can be really good. I keep calling them nemesis, but I guess nemesis are actually the things you get in the corruption. Once you get to corrupt Monos. Acolyte, level of Bone Curse Shard. Sure. Alright, we are coming up on the Wengari Matriarch and Patriarch, and they always, almost always, kill me. If I have a character who hasn't died 20 or 30% of the time, my first death comes to the Wengari Matriarch and Patriarch. Don't name and said mercenary because what came to mind? Might as well be Carlos. I don't think it's Carlos the Jackal. Might be. Alright, the Wengari Matriarch and Patriarch. One of them's a melee, the other is ranged. They both hit like a bazooka. It killed my boy. The Matriarch is probably the more problematic of the two. But as long as my boy keeps their attention... We almost got one of them. We got one of them. That was the Patriarch. Got them both. Whew. You can see they're having a lot of fun with the game. The difference between this and PoE 2. You can't complain enough about PoE 2. Yeah, it's just not fun right now. Now, I think you can make a pretty good argument that this one is too easy right now. But it's fun. Now, for some people, you know, what makes a game fun is challenge. I'm not one of those people. Like it easy, like it when you don't have to be tortured. Yeah, that one. That's even the hardcore PoE players. The word they were all using to describe the new PoE 2 season was slog. And I just don't see any world where if the players are calling your game a slog, you're doing it right. You see, challenging fights that take tactics and time and everything in a game like the Souls games, which is theoretically what what one of the inspirations is for this is the Souls game. Is you fight, 2 or 3 monsters and a monster and a couple of monsters and 2 monsters and a monster and a monster and then a boss. You don't fight packs of 40 mobs and 40 mobs and 40 mobs over and over and over again than we do in PoE. It's just not a good match. Let's see. Speak with, acquire, use the Blessed Horn. I think we've got everything we need. So we go back to town. I just don't think, for instance, if you look at the other ARPG that is trying to be inspired as a Souls-like, it's called No Rest for the Wicked. And by the way, it's a fucking gorgeous game. It is an incredible looking game. 2 more idle slots. Yay! The layout of the echoes in this game is chef's kiss. If you look at No Rest for the Wicked, they don't have big batches of mobs you're fighting like PoE 2 does. They look a lot more like a Souls game that's played like an ARPG. You're fighting 2 or 3 mobs. 1 mob with a little skill, That's what you're fighting at a time. The fights are tactical. They're not blast a bunch of mobs, blast a bunch of mobs, blast a bunch of mobs, and then hit a big boss, the way PoE 2 is. I just think the way they're doing PoE 2 as a much more deliberate PoE 1 is not what the player base is interested in. If they want that kind of game, and frankly, I have played well enough at PoE 2 that I think now, whereas previously I didn't think I was good enough a player to play No Rest for the Wicked. I may end up picking that up. But it's still in early access, so it won't be now. But right now, I'm just having fun with Last Epoch. The second season, I think, is a terrific addition to the game. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think it's as good or better as most PoE leagues. It's not as good as the best PoE leagues. But then PoE leagues, basically every other one, well, when they have them, every other one is short. Much less of a amount of work being put into it. Every second one is complicated and deeper and more interesting. And so to my mind, this is better than any of the small PoE leagues and better than some of the larger ones. So I'm very happy with this league. Their season, sorry. Season. I didn't end up watching, no. I am a huge non-fan of discomfort. I don't watch movies that are sort of discomfort-based. I don't find it funny. I find it just makes me very, very anxious. To my mind, the funniest human in the world is John Cleese of Monty Python. And he has a series that he did many years ago called Faulty Towers. And I didn't like it because it's all based around the comedy of discomfort. And I just don't find it inherently funny. All right, here we go again. Got him. And what did we get? Elemental and cold. I like that sealed affix on that. Minion health. Again, if I choose to keep my round boy here, that might be good. Critical strike chance. Increased throwing attack speed. Ugh, I could try to chaos that one off, I suppose. To describe it as a build is a bit generous. I'm just throwing stuff at the wall. I'm not following a build guide. I'm just winging it on my own. And I haven't died yet. I keep saying it because I'm tormenting the gods. I'm daring them to do something about it. Seem to be doing a good job. It's hard to tell. Really, the game is perfectly playable just by winging it. I think by anyone who's played an ARPG. I really don't think you need a path of building equivalent to make good builds here, or even make, you know, just a playable build. Whoop, don't. Those guys are bad. Those frozen miniguns, they suck. I will blow the blessed horn. Okay, it's a little deeper in game. Sounds a little manlier. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make it. I mean, my streams often cause pain. But most of the time that's intentional. That wasn't. I'm sorry. I mean you no harm. I come in peace.
Death will not take me.
Oh, fine. I'm going all the way to Heorot, or to... I'm going to finish all of this off, and I'm going to do my first... monolith. Probably take another 20 minutes or so. Whoops! I'm almost out of mana. Could you keep things busy for a little bit, my fiery friend? Thank you so much. Oops. We have another nemesis. Give it a sec to get our mana back. Oh, my friend died. Sure, we'll empower this too. A Rune of Ascendance. I should look into seeing what kind of thing I would like to use a Rune of Ascendance on. Took medicine today that they tell you doesn't make you this high. Weed doesn't make you this high. Well, yeah, I don't care for weed. I tried it not too long ago and I didn't like the effects. I prefer alcohol, and I'm not making this up, but I do not recommend this as treatment. When I throw my back out, or I hurt it in such a way that it's likely to go into spasm, I will get drunk. And my estimate is about 40% of the time it takes me out of spasm. So I do not recommend that. I want to be clear that I am not a doctor, nor do I play one on the internet. Oh, that's a lot of freaking cold balls. Pardon the phrase. Okay, we got a couple bosses, or a boss over here who splits himself up into pieces. You hate feeling drunk, so you think that'll be a no-go for you. Back once again. Those things that bazooka fire the cold. They're just bad, and they are ripping up not just me, but my boy, too. He's down again. Rogue? Why do I want rogue? I don't want rogue idols. Well, certainly not liking the feeling of being drunk or high is probably a good thing. I drink more than I should. I drink more often than I should. I tried edibles, hoping for something a little bit less bad for me. So I got a couple of sublinguals that I tried, one of which was described as helps with focus. And it helped with focus so much, I literally would get halfway done typing a sentence in chat, and I'd forget what I was typing and have to go back and read what I had just written. So, so much for the focus. And the other one was described as giving balance. And when I stood up, I had to sit back down because I felt like I was about to fall over. That's you normally with ADHD? It's not normal with me. I did not like the feeling. The old saying is that's why they call it dope. That's what it made me feel like. So I didn't like the feeling that I got from the edibles. Also, they're sublinguals, which means you put them under your tongue. They're little, sort of like little gelatin squares. And half the time I tried them, they did literally nothing. The other half of the time I tried them, it took hours for them to kick in, and then they just kicked my ass. The frozen roots. When you use your weed product, focus on CBD, which makes you relaxed but not high.
Your life, but how? And Yulia, Lan, what? No, damn it! Do you not until I what?
How are we doing? We've got a little bit of space left. Where are we? Heading for the Tomb of Morditas. That is there. Alright, so we just have a little bit to go. I'll finish this out, and I will do my first monolith. Because that's the way I normally do it. I finish up. Oh, we've got another loot lizard. I finish up this zone, this map. I make sure I have all of the idols and all of the passive points, and then I head off the monoliths. Because the next map after this one, the water maps that lead you to Lagon, I hate the water maps. I hate those maps since they brought them into the game. I really dislike them. Whoops, that's not a good place to be standing. The quest flow on those maps is just dreadful. These guys keep killing my boy. Whoa, what is... That is what is. We've got a nemesis. We've got another loot lizard. Once again, we'll get our mana back. You're welcome, Kimmo. Not like I had anything else to do. We're going to empower it again. That has 1 LP. Ooh, maybe you can get to 2 LP. That would be cool. I need more mana regen, I think. These things gotta die. Just freaking hate them, because their ability to just mainline death you. If you're heading straight towards them, or if you're caught in a narrow place, they can just absolutely blitz you. That will get me Drain Life, which I want to experiment with. Not just yet. Alright, almost there.
You will take my place. Brooding mind.
Would you just freaking die? Thank you. Exiled mages always give you nothing. Well, the big thing about them is some of the special affixes on the experimental stuff is really good. For instance, if you're doing a minion build, I think it's the boots, and when you use a traversal skill, it'll bring some of your minions along with you. That one can be very, very good. As an example. +1 to Chthonic Fissure. Yes, please. We must save that. Okay, the Tomb of Morditus.
All that's left is locating the lance.
Alright, big fight, big boss. Big tree, big angry tree.
Finally.
when they regen the energy shield. Yeah, it's a mechanic they have put in because people were deleting bosses too fast. So every, 20 or 25%, they get a shield. They've increased how fast the shield dissolves on its own. So it's less of a burden for slower builds. But yeah, it's not a perfect solution, that's for sure. Yeah, basically it's just because people were deleting the bosses so fast. So you can still delete them fast, but they do get that energy shield. And it will go away over, like, I don't know, 6 or 8 seconds or something. He was cold.
We have the
Now he's
which
not.
But why? I'll give you one. Tell me more of this.
The lance.
All right, I don't know why. Oh, first of all, I need to talk to the guy about his boner meds. I'm sorry. His niece isn't... Well, here.
Yes?
You've got the ingredients? Splendid. I can't wait to use it for the cure, of course. Oh, gods, I can't keep lying to you. Do you want to know what they're really for? I'd rather not. Well, you see, after my wife passed, I thought that stage of my life was over. But I met the most fetching woman at the last Harvest Festival. Older than I, believe it or not. And, well, she started looking at me with those eyes of hers, and I... Please, please don't.
Farewell.
Yes, we're getting him the blue pill. That is exactly correct.
Yes. If what you to be honest, all that is left is to take the lance and bless it.
All right, why can't I see... Supposed to be able to see in the lower left corner if you've got all of the passive points. I'm pretty sure I have, but I'm not positive I have. Let's see. We did get Profane Veil. Channel to conceal yourself within a Profane Veil that deals necrotic damage over time to enemies around you. While concealed, you dodge every hit, but you can still take damage from damage over time effects such as ailments. And you move more slowly. Lasts for up to 2 seconds and also ends when you release the key. Cooldown does not recover during use. But also I have Drain Life now from the Lich Tree, which I wanted to play around with. Give me a sec. Flashbang coming. I have all the idols, I know that. Looking at the bottom left. Yeah, it's supposed to say that. It doesn't say that. Look at the bottom left. Doesn't say that. It's not saying it where it's supposed to say it. Don't know why. It's just not. Bugs me. Well, anyway, I'm going to sell stuff, and then we're going to run one monolith. Just one. Throwing damage. Well, this build is all about throwing damage. Oh, wait. No, it's not. Summon Wraith. We'll break that one up for parts. Because parts are parts. Increase critical strike. That might be it. I lost connection. We'll reconnect and perhaps... But yes, that's what we were doing. We were getting the old man his boner meds. Oh, I'm not giving up yet. I ain't giving up. I said one monolith, and I meant it. There it is. 15 out of 15 passive points and 8 out of 8 idle slot rewards. It's right down here. It's behind my handsome face. Don't worry, the handsome face I keep behind me in a box.
Yes.
Sell. Critical strike chance, Throwing attack speed. Why? Chance to shock on hit. Mana and mana. Come on, guys. You're killing me here. You're killing me, Smalls. No. No. Critical strike for skeletons and skeleton mages. We'll want to tear that one apart, too. We would like to take the Chthonic Fissure off of that one, please. A lot of good affixes bouncing around here. Cannot wear a rogue helmet, even if it would be incredibly stylish on me. And it would, because everything is stylish on me. What did we get here? Health gain. Wow, 3. We got 3 affixes on it. Health gained on block, fire resist, and physical resist. Impressive. I think that's the first I have seen of a what amounts to a random 3 LP. Let's see. No. We're going to not that one. That one. That one. Rip Blood. I'm not using Rip Blood. Why can't I get any good ones? Those aren't any good. We'll sell those. Looks like you have everything to make a Pox Righteous Fire. I've done Pox's Righteous Fire once before. And generally speaking, the build I did was more or less a Righteous Fire build. I did Allie's build, if you're familiar with Allie. She was the first Sentinel to 100, I believe. Oh, he did the Judgment Righteous Fire? Well, RF is his deal, so that doesn't surprise me. He is the Righteous Fire Meister. And we need to break this one up. And hope to get the Summon Wraith. No. Alright, so. We now have everything we need from the storyline. So we go to the end of time. Pardon the yawn. Is it actually Firepox's RF build for Sentinel? Because the one I was running was void damage. It's fire, okay. Alright, so we have finished up the 5 in Lich, which we may refund later. Let's see, so we can't go there, we can't go there. I think we were going there next. Chances for double damage on hits and curses. And I did promise we're going to have 1 monolith. Slay the enemies to locate the storm gate. Now, keep in mind, these mobs are higher level than me by a good bunch. I just hit 49, and the mobs here are 58. Which would make them approximately 9 levels higher than me. However, because they're so much higher than me, you level up pretty quick. And we've got another exiled mage. He's got a lot of hit points. Also, he appears to be having a good time. He's no longer having a good time. Mana gained on potion use and ward decay threshold. Ward decay threshold is good for the build I have because I'm using a ward decay build. So that one could very well replace that one, even though that's part of the set. At least until I get, I don't know, it's currently showing the 2-piece bonus. We'll get the 3-piece bonus with crafting. But we can craft the piece we need onto this. We'd have to seal something. Increased physical damage, tier 2. That would probably work. Alright, we have spotted the storm gate. We just need to get there and kill all the things around it. Well, I won't say no. Oh, Ice Beetle. The least interesting of all of the potential goodies I think we could have gotten. Oh, we've got a nemesis. This will be a test. We have to challenge him. He's going to come in, and he's going to be... Oh, that's not ideal. Oop, we don't want to stand in that. Don't stand in the electricity. It's like shuffling your feet on the rug. You don't want the static electricity to attack. I am, Can I finish him? I can. Bow has 1 LP. Sealed fizz and cold resistance. That'd be a nice shield for somebody. Increased cold damage. Oh, I don't do cold damage. Why did it have to be cold? Drops affix shards. Well, I mean, that's goodies. But speeding things up would have been nice. Ooh, it's Skritter. A champion. Was a champion. Now, dead. He's come over, all dead. Alright. Still got a ways to go before we can finish this out. Definitely could use some mana regen.
Your death has come.
Got another loot lizard. And another. Did we finish him? Yes. Oh, spinny boys. They're bad. Level 50. We need to go back. That's the last of our specialization slots. Let's see, we were chasing... Okay, over here. Can't wear it. Could use it. No. Yes. All right, we're almost there, and then I'll be calling it an evening. All right, we're going to close this out and hopefully not die. We made it to level 50 without dying. Will we make it any further? Serenus the Accuser. I definitely need to get the cull going on my traversal skill.
Your death has come. It eludes.
But the echo is conquered. And we have a chest to open?
That is too much.
That is too much. No, it's not. Shut up. Sword. Didn't want that.
Worthless anyway.
Didn't want that one. Didn't want that one. Wanted that one. Shield charge is the best travel skill ever. Depends. This one can cross gaps. Also, it creates an image of me that explodes. I get an extra body for a second, and then I blow up. If you don't get that, are you really traversing? And that is the promised single monolith. I lived up to my word. You arrive at the end of the map in shield charge. It's like you're running from the police. Well, yeah. It is certainly... It does. It also allows for very, very long shield charges from some players I've seen. So, that is definitely the case. Well, I mean, we've been using Soul Feast. It's been a little disappointing. So, why don't we change to... Not Profane Veil. Drain Life. It's a channeled spell. And we can go ahead and lob it straight in now. For 8 points worth. Let's see. Deals more damage multiplicative. Drain life costs less mana per second. Given that I have some mana problems, that's probably a good choice. Stacks of Damned. Oh, extra stacks of Damned I certainly approve of. But the less mana per second, it seems really good. What else have we got? Unholy Mass, drain life, 3% more damage per stack of Damned on enemies afflicted by Damned, up to a cap. There, Stagger, Contempt, you gain Contempt. Contempt grants more armor multiplicative with all other multipliers. Thanks again for streaming more than you were planning. Thank you. Thank you for panging. As always, you are quite welcome. Ooh, that's not bad either. And a point over here in Sacrifice. Where was I going? We had gotten the Doombringer. Transplant deals more hit damage. Not really interested in that. Explosions cause enemies to bleed, but using transplant also causes me to bleed. Well, I don't want to bleed. Instantly kills. There we are. That's... We need 2 more points in that to get a cull. A 15% cull. Let's see. This is Chaos Bolts. Where were we going with this? There? Yes. And our chunky boy, more fire, although he's dying a little more frequently than I'm comfortable with. Health and armor, I need to throw more health and armor at him. And then over here, where was I going? Not there. Didn't want that one. Get more spirits, that's not bad. I came down to here. Spirits hits. Oh, that's right, they shred. Shred enemy fire resist, too. We want both of those. A little bit of shredding never hurt anybody except everybody I was trying to hurt. I'm going to call it here. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. As always, I am very appreciative. In more breaking news, tomorrow's Friday, which is probably the start of your weekend, but I'll be here because I'm retired. Every day's a weekend for me. At the usual time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, middle of the night in Europe, morning in Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. I expect with more of this here last epoch. Yeah. Probably running monoliths, although I may just start another character because that's the way I roll. Don't know. Might also be playing something else. That's a possibility. Regardless, again, thanks for hanging out. Hopefully you'll see me soon. I'll be back here tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. I hope the rest of your day, evening, morning, or afternoon goes well. Take care and ciao for now.